So the business case. CSOs, CEOs and CFOs, what are their prime drivers for a business? It's creating new revenue streams. They want cost efficiency, of course. They want to drive their corporate value and risk. Those are typically the four main priorities that a CEO and the CFO need to address. And sustainability and CSR combined do exactly that. Risk. Risk is about vulnerabilities, and it's understanding what those vulnerabilities are and seeing where it's going to actually have a negative impact on the value of the business. And an environmental and social exposure will do exactly that. It will have a negative impact on your business. There are many examples that we've been given over the last couple of days where something that happened that was environmentally disastrous or socially disastrous impacted corporate value overnight. And of course, with the wonderful growth in the internet and the wonderful things we can experience from it today, it also, of course, has a downside. And that is, if you've got some bad news, the world can know about it in seconds. Because the internet gives people, society, who gives businesses a license to operate, have many more touch points into a company now. And because of that, they can understand what you're doing, they can understand the bad side to a brand and a reputation, and destroy it through networking. Supply chain. Companies must understand their supply chain. They're not spending enough time, because typically, from my experience, and as someone who is a contributor to the Greenhouse Gas Protocol, product life cycle, value chain, and the new ICT accounting systems, companies do not understand what the footprint of their supply chain is. And typically, it is the largest part of their footprint, but also, it is also their largest vulnerable area from a social point of view as well. Just because you as a company have made sure that, for example, you do not have child labour within your organisation, are you so sure about all of your suppliers? Because if one of your suppliers is doing something, they are a supplier to you, and their risk is your risk. So, risk is addressed. Cost efficiency. Cost efficiency is about understanding the difference between eco-efficiency and eco-intensity, because the two are wildly apart. A lot of people think it's the same thing, and it isn't. And it's about adjusting human behaviour to make eco-efficiency and eco-intensity combine. And therefore, resource management. And to manage your resources appropriately, you've got to have an understanding between power management, fleet management, logistics management, as well as controlling all the behavioural aspects. So it's about slicing through a business and looking at it horizontally and getting rid of all the tribalisms that typically live within a company. People holding on to their own departments for dear life have got to go, because different departments can have a negative impact on value on one another. And it's about vision. So with that vision, you now embrace the employees. And it's about understanding and including the employees with their own personal values and driving those values also from the top. Because a CEO, of course, sets the tone on an organisation. And that tone and the values and that leadership can also be passed through individuals within those organisations. And CSR and sustainability really does bring cohesion and therefore help drive innovation and productivity, because people are working together closer. Creating new revenue streams, motivated employees, and collaboration through the value chain really do help drive innovation, because you have a greater understanding between all the touch points within that value chain. And I will give you an example in a minute. And also through that understanding, of course, what you also create is customer focus, customer service. Because also, with the efforts you're making, your impact on your customers, the externality of that impact is you're measuring, and you can address it directly to your client and give you a competitive advantage. So, all those the combination of all those agents of change help drive corporate value, gives you a clear vision and understanding, gives you a proactive paradigm on event management. And studies have actually shown that engagers outperform non-engagers. The Carbon Disclosure Project, through the Economic Intelligence Unit, have done lots of research on this and published their results and shown it to be so. There is a great deal of empirical evidence also that has actually shown that while CSR and sustainability may not have an impact on value between 0 and 7% positive, not having sustainability or a CSR program will have a negative impact between -9 and -13. So straight away, empirical evidence is proving that the biggest cost that any company can ever do is not engaging in sustainability and CSR. And also, as I said, I also contribute to the International Integrated Reporting Committee. And integrated reporting has been mentioned a few times over the last couple of days. As a contributor to that, I actually want to give you an IIRC quote. And basically, in 1975, corporate value was 85% of it was actually physical and financial assets. In 2009, financial value was only 19%. So now we've got another 81% to play with. So does that actually mean that what we're doing, what we're talking about here on sustainability and CSR, will actually be 81% the effect of value on a corporate? Because that's what the evidence is suggesting. So again, the biggest cost is to do nothing. An example is this is not just a big corporate. This is for all companies. There's a company I work with called Greenwood Communications. They are a solutions provider to the ICT sector. They are run by the founder. They've been going about 25 years. And over the last 3 or 4 years, what I call the Great Recession, their turnover has gone up 35%. But whilst doing that, what we've managed to do through sustainability drive is their carbon intensity has actually fallen by over 20%. Their waste overall has fallen by 23%, and their recycling has gone up to 89%. And also, so therefore, their impact on their customers has dropped significantly. We've also driven a lot of innovation. And a lot of sustainable products and services they're now offering are beginning to build a greater percentage of their overall sales. For example, one of their new products is a product called Swift. It's run by solar or wind. And what it enables, for example, a building site or an office or any particular place, is to have instant mobile broadband at a fraction of the cost of any other solution. So if you were somebody who set up a building site, they can bring it along, stick it in the ground, job done. And yet, there it is, solar and wind. So to really show you that it is not just a big corporate that can get a great value out of this, it's the smaller businesses too. And this is a business that's also just opened up in Dubai only in the last 4 weeks. So, a good example for understanding today's actions with tomorrow's significance. Thank you.